one of the things that they had mentioned in their classes was kind of not utilizing the labeling structure for different curls, like being a 4A and all of that, and from my experience with kind of embracing more curly haired clients and getting more educated in this, by default, I have clients that come in who want to reference these labels, right? And um, I just want to hear your perspective on it. Like, is it something you utilize? How do you navigate it? What's your honest, real thoughts about this?
Yes. Yeah, that's a great question. I don't use that chart at all.
Okay.
And just like you, I do have clients that come in and will refer to their hair according to that chart, or they'll ask me, like, what is my hair type? And I'll just, politely tell them, that's not really a chart that I use to reference. And knowing the size of your curl pattern actually doesn't help me determine what products to use on your hair or how to care for it. So I just kind of redirect them in terms of what characteristics do help me. And more recently, the way that I've broken it down is the person that actually created that chart system previously was Oprah's hairstylist. And at the time, he came out with the chart as a way to promote his new hair care line. And he was quoted saying that the type 4 hair type, which is the tightest coil and curl, was best styled with a relaxer. And so just with that thought, someone who thinks tighter coils should be relaxed and straightened, that alone is not going to be a chart that I'm going to reference when all of my work is about embracing your natural curl. Yeah. Also, just educating stylists, especially those that aren't as familiar with curls, to go back to your foundational information, that's going to inform how you care for curls. So what I mean by that is things like texture in terms of fine, medium, coarse, things like water quality, things like climate, density, surface texture. All of those things give me way more information about what kind of products or styling options a client has, way more than whether they have like a tight coil or a beachy wave. And some clients, a lot of clients, I'll use the same product on someone with tight coils as someone with loose curls because they have other characteristics in common.
Totally. Thank you for saying that. Also very fascinating about that quote, because I remember, I think it was Kia who actually educated me on who created that, system and chart, but I did not know about that quote. So thank you for sharing that with me.
Yeah.
Whew, that's interesting. And I love that, just educating, your clients too, like, hey, here's the characteristics that I'm focusing on. And then I'm tackling those versus putting your curl or coil in a category and then simply basing it off of that. Would you say that clients respond pretty well to it too? Like, you just being real and honest about that?
Yeah, well, I mean, and then once I explain to them why, they're like, that makes a lot of sense. I never really, thought of my hair as being fine, or I didn't know the difference between that and density. And also letting them know there's some curl patterns that if we look at that chart, their hair type doesn't even show up on the chart, so it's not really helpful. And most people have more than one curl pattern. Yeah. So it's kind of hard to try and put it in a box and categorize it.
Totally. I love that. Okay. The last thing I can think of too, that just popped in my head. I mean, granted, because you are a curly and a texture specialist, obviously I'm assuming that's what you attract a lot of, right? But would you say in your years of doing hair that you are noticing just a shift in clients' perspective of, I'm trying to rock my hair in its natural texture, its natural form. I'm not going to have it relaxed or chemically straightened or anything like that. Do you feel like you're noticing a greater surge of that? Or what's your thoughts around that?
I don't know if there's been a surge since I've been a licensed stylist. I've been licensed since 2017. I think it's been steadily growing since then, since before then, really, in terms of people embracing their texture. But I've seen a shift in folks embracing their true texture. So what I mean by that is people have not been relaxing their hair, but they've been feeling like they still can't take care of it. So they've done things like extensions, braids, altering their hair texture, like twist outs, braid outs, where they're stretching it out and kind of altering the form of it. So I feel like there has been a shift over time of people just wanting to wear it exactly as it is and learning how to just define their natural curls, and a shift in being able to see that hair care can be simplified and it doesn't have to be this overcomplicated routine.
Yes. Yeah. We don't need 8 or 9 styling products in our bathroom.
Right.
Okay. Sorry, Camille. I'm just hitting you with them. My last one, I promise.
No,
On average, okay, good. On average, like how many products do you kind of shift with your clients, would you say, in terms of styling? Like, for example, for me, particularly, I'll just use Innersense as an example because I know we both use that line. I usually can keep it at like 2, around the 2 marker for styling. What about you?
Same. I can use 2. I might add something extra just to give them a salon finish if it's like I create finish or something like that. But in terms of their foundational styling products, I will tell them like, I really don't want you to have more than 2 because I don't want you to be overwhelmed, and to see you can get great results. Less is more.
Totally. Totally.
Yeah.
Okay, one more. Sorry, because I see it in the video back there. Is that a Collins hair dryer, or what kind of hair dryer do you like using?
Yes, it's a Collins hooded hair dryer. So I love using that. It was recommended by other curly hairstylists. So that's what I use for most of my clients, in addition to the Dyson hand dryer.
Works nicely. That diffuser on that bad boy is pretty great.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Wait. All right, Camille. Well, thank you so much for doing this interview.